Good evening to all of you. Today I am going to start new chapter, chapter number 6. Chapter 1, 2 and 3 we have completed. Now chapter number 6, unemployment. In unemployment, first question number first, that is define unemployment. Define unemployment. Now definition of unemployment. A situation where a person is ready and capable of working at current wage rate. But does not get work. Is called unemployment, and that person is called unemployed person. Second, such unemployment is also known as unwilling unemployment, or compulsory nature of unemployment. This first definition define unemployment, a situation where a person is ready and capable of working at current wage rate, means he is willing. A person is willing, is ready, capable and looking for job, and he is also ready to accept current wage rate, means prevailing wage rate. But then also if he does not get work, then such situation is called unemployment, and that person is called unemployed person. Such unemployment is also known as unwilling unemployment. Unwilling means that person is not willing to remain unemployed. Not willing to remain unemployed. Not willing. That's why it is called unwilling. He doesn't want to remain unemployed. He is looking for job. He is ready to accept current wage rate, but he does not get work. That's why it is called unwilling unemployment or compulsory nature of unemployment. Now, next question number 2. Define voluntary unemployment. First one is compulsory unemployment and second one is voluntary unemployment. If a person is not willing is not willing and ready to work and ready to work and not getting work, then such type of situation is called voluntary unemployment. Voluntary unemployment. So if a person is not willing, in above question, person is willing, he is ready, he is capable, he is looking for job. But here the person is not willing, not ready to work, not capable, we cannot say, but not ready to accept current wage rate, not looking for any kind of job, and ultimately when he is not looking for job, he does not get any work. Then first type of situation is called voluntary unemployment. Two definitions we have completed: define unemployment, and second define voluntary unemployment. Define voluntary unemployment is almost opposite of unemployment, means unwilling unemployment or compulsory nature of unemployment. So you have to learn difference between compulsory nature of unemployment and voluntary nature of unemployment. Here person is looking for job, ready to accept current wage rate, ready and capable to do the work, but then also he does not get work. Opposite of that, on the contrary of it, here person is not willing, not ready to work and not looking for any job, that's why he is not getting any work. And then such type of unemployment is called voluntary unemployment. Now next topic regarding unemployment. And once again I am remembering you that I am touching only those questions which may cover section A, section B, C and D. Long question we will do later on. Next one is question 3. Now on the basis of nature and types of unemployment, how can we define unemployment according to, and such report is given by Rajkrishna committee. So on the basis of, once again question is explain the nature and types of unemployment, explain the nature and types of unemployment which Rajkrishna committee had given. Means for measuring unemployment, Rajkrishna committee has given different measurement in order to know the nature and types of unemployment, which these measures are. First of all, answer. These measures are: first one is time, first point; second, income; third one is willingness; and fourth one is productivity. So these are the four measurement on the basis of which we can measure unemployment, or we can measure the different nature and types of unemployment. Four measurements are: first of all, points, time, income, willingness, and productivity. Now, first one is time. How we can define unemployment, or how we can classify different types of unemployment on the basis of time. First one is time. Here, if a person does not get work for more than 28 hours in a week, then it is called intensively unemployed. Means the level of unemployment is at extreme level. That is called intensively unemployed. But whenever a person does not get work for more than 28 hours in a week, then such person is called intensively unemployed person. On the contrary, next one is in the same time. If a person gets work for more than 28 hours but less than 42 hours in a week, it is called less intense unemployed person. So try to make notes according to my pattern. Total 2 questions we have done. In this way, you are very easily able to learn this question, and very easily you are able to cover all the 4 sections A, B, C, D. So if a person does not get work for more than 28 hours in a week, but less than more than 28 hours in a week, then it is called intensively unemployed. And second one is if a person gets more than 28 hours but less than 42 hours in a week, then it is called less intense unemployed person. On the basis of time, here we are measuring unemployment. Here unemployment is of 2 types: intensively unemployed and less intense unemployed person. So 1 mark question or NC question may be asked. Define intensively unemployed person or intensively unemployment on the basis of time. Then you have to define these 2 lines, that if a person does not get work for more than 28 hours in a week, then it is called intensively unemployed. Second question, define less intense unemployed person on the basis of time. Then if a person gets more than 28 hours but less than 42 hours in a week, then it is called less intense unemployed person. And next 1 mark question, mention the measures given by Radhakrishna committee to explain the nature and types of unemployment. Then you have to mention only points: time, income, willingness, and productivity. So different question can be asked from this question. Now next point is income. When a person gets very less income, which cannot solve the problems of his poverty, then he is considered poor. One line is sufficient. He is considered poor, or we can say along with poor that he is considered as unemployed. No doubt that he is employed, but his income is so less that he is not able to come out from the vicious circle of poverty. Then we can say that such person is almost unemployed. Definitely he is considered as poor if he is not able to come out from the vicious circle of poverty from whatever he is earning, then he is considered as poor, but along with poorness he is also known as unemployed person, because whatever he is earning out of those income he is not able to remove his poverty, he is not able to diminish his poverty, then such person is called poor or unemployed. Third part is willingness. Willingness almost we have done in the definition of employment, that he is willing to do work, he is capable, able, he is looking for a job but he does not get work. That is called, on the basis of willingness, he is unemployed. So almost definition of unemployment. So here I am writing definition of unemployment. First question, define unemployment. That is called on the basis of willingness. We are defining unemployment when a person is eligible of getting good job but he does not get as per his eligibility and accepts lower cadre job and get very less income from this job, then he is underemployed. Here underemployment is also given for defining underemployment. When a person is willing and capable to do higher job, but if he gets lower position job, then it is called underemployed person. Underemployed person. When a person is willing and capable to do higher position job, but he gets lower position job, then it is called underemployed person or underemployment. Last one is productivity. When a person is working with less than actual productivity, then production is less than his productive capacity. When a person is working with less than actual productivity, means he can produce more, he can do work more, but he is working or he is producing less. Reason is that availability of demand of production is that, means demand of production is less than the capacity of a worker, means he is getting less work as per his capacity. Means once again, when a person is working with less than actual productivity, means he can produce more, he can do work more, but he is producing less. Then what happens? Now it is next sentence is the result. The production is less. Production is less. When he is working with less capacity, then total output is also remains less than his productive capacity, means he can produce more, but he has to produce less. That is also called unemployment. So once again, whenever a person is working with less than actual productivity, then production is less as compared to his productive capacity. So these are the four elements, four components, four measurement which Raj Krishna committee has given regarding measuring nature and types of unemployment: time, income, willingness, and productivity. Question number 3 completed. Now question number 4. Question number 4 is explain disguised unemployment. Explain disguised unemployment. Now disguised unemployment, when a person seems to be employed, but actually he is not employed. Such situation is called disguised unemployment. Another definition: when more workers are working than the required workers. When more workers are working than the required workers, and if such workers are removed from the work, then also production remains same. Then it is called disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment is also known as hidden unemployment. So here I am writing disguised unemployment or hidden unemployment. Now here I have written that when more workers are working than the required workers, so This definition I am explaining through an example, that if there is a particular field, suppose this 1 hectare field, 1 hectare of land. In 1 hectare of land, maximum 4 workers are needed in order to produce maximum 100 quintals of wheat. Means in this 1 hectare of land, with the help of maximum 4 workers, maximum to maximum 100 quintals of wheat can be produced with the help of 4 workers. Now if just assume that here in this 1 hectare of land 6 workers are working, means according to our definition, when more workers are working, means 6 workers are working, then the required workers, our required workers are 4. Then if such workers are removed from the work, means additional 2 workers, if we remove additional 2 workers from the work, then also production remains same, means 100, means then also 4 workers can produce 100 quintals of wheat. Then in this case we can say that these 2 workers are coming under the category of disguised unemployment or hidden unemployment. Reason, first definition, that person, they seems to be employed, means we cannot say that they are not employed, they are also working on this 1 hectare of land, but actually they are unemployed. Reason, their marginal productivity is 0, means they are producing nothing. So in case of disguised unemployment, the marginal productivity of worker, the marginal productivity of workers, here workers means we are talking about those workers who are working more than the required work, means disguised unemployed workers, those who are seems to be employed but actually they are not employed, we are talking about those workers. So in case of disguised unemployment, the marginal productivity of worker is 0. Why it is 0? Once again, if you remove 2 additional workers, because we need only 4 workers, here 2 workers are working on this 1 hectare of land. If we remove these 2 workers, then also total production on this land remains same. It means they are producing nothing, means their productivity is 0. So in case of disguised unemployment, the marginal productivity of worker is 0, and last one is a disguised unemployment. It means here we are talking about agricultural sector, that's why disguised unemployment is mostly seen in agricultural sector, or you can write rural areas also, because almost all the population in rural area depends on agricultural sector. So disguised unemployment is mostly seen in agricultural sector or in rural areas. This is all about disguised unemployment. Now next topic is cyclical unemployment. Next topic is question number 5, cyclical unemployment. We all know that every trade has different phases. These phases are prosperity period, then from prosperity to recession period, means when we are going towards depression period. During prosperity period, production remains at highest level, at peak level. Production, demand, income, all remains at highest level. But when it starts falling down, it means recession period comes. and then slowly and slowly it comes to a point where production, demand, income becomes or reaches at its lowest point. That point is depression period. So here we are talking about cyclical unemployment. Question number 5. Define cyclical unemployment. So when this situation comes, because during prosperity period production is at its highest level, and in order to produce more and more goods we need more and more workers. It means at prosperity period or during prosperity period total there is full employment, means all workers gets employment. It means there is no unemployment during prosperity period. Thus we can say that cyclical unemployment is related with depression period of the trade cycle. So during depression period, answer, during depression period production, during depression period demand of various goods or services becomes very low, or in simple language demand of various goods and services decreases. Decreases as a result production and supply also reduces. This is very clear picture that whenever demand reduces, then supplier, producer has to reduce their supply as well as their production. So during depression period, demand of various goods or services decreases. As a result, production and supply also reduces. Now, due to low production, many workers are removed, or another word is retrenched from their work, and due to low production many workers are removed or retrenched from their work. As a result they become unemployed. Such unemployment is called cyclical unemployment, or trade cycle, because depression period is a part of trade cycle, so it is also known as trade cycle unemployment. Or which part of trade cycle increases unemployment? Depression period, so it is also known as depressive unemployment, or such unemployment is called cyclical unemployment, trade cycle unemployment, or depressive unemployment. And one more word, such unemployment arises due to low effective demand Effective demand. It means effective demand word. Effective demand word is related with cyclical unemployment. Cyclical unemployment caused due to cyclical one sentence cyclical unemployment caused due to low effective demand. So in one word, MC question, effective demand is related with which type of unemployment? So it is related with cyclical unemployment. So once again, during depression period, demand of various goods or services decreases. As a result, production also becomes low and supply also becomes low. Means production and supply both also decreases. Now due to low production, means when production becomes low, then many workers are removed or retrenched from their job or work. As a result, unemployment increases or arises. Such unemployment is called cyclical unemployment. First, such unemployment is called cyclical unemployment. And this unemployment arises due to one part of trade cycle, means depression period. That's why it is also called trade cycle unemployment or depressive unemployment. And such unemployment, last sentence, arises due to low effective demand. That's why low effective demand or effective demand is related with cyclical unemployment. Now next question, next topic we will do in next lecture. Till then, try to complete question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First question is define unemployment, then define voluntary unemployment, then measurement given by Raj Krishna committee, then disguised unemployment, and question number 5, cyclical unemployment.